Hey guys, what's up? So these are my opinions of the first Pokemon Direct, which were shown just before the E3 about a week ago. They had a YouTube stream. Unfortunately, in those who did watch it, it was absolutely terrible. There were two voices that were clashing, making it difficult to hear what was being said, and it was quite difficult to understand everything. Out of the new Pokemon that were revealed, the two Pokemon I really enjoyed were Dreadnought. I think I enjoy the fact that it's a rock and the water type, and I liked Corviknight, it being like a raven-looking Pokemon. It's very impressive. It strikes fear into the hearts of opponents. It's clearly it being a steel and flying type is taking, well, poor Skarmory now. It is going to get left in the dust. It'd be quite funny actually to see if it potentially is in the game as well. It was seen using a brand new move, and it was, I believe in the trailer, it was taking down a Sork in this kind of like waterfall looking area. However, the two Pokemon I really didn't enjoy were Wooloo. Clearly it's going to be a normal type. I do think it's a little bit bizarre. Just as a Pokemon, I don't see why it's there. It's not that. I don't find it interesting. I hope it does get a decent move pool, but generally I think it's one of those I'll be avoiding. And the grass type, Gossifleur, a grass type, which evolves into what looks like another grass type. I think in this case it felt a little bit forced. Sometimes when they do these, they feel like they need to show an evolution of a Pokemon. And in this case, this just tended to be the case. With the Zekean and Zamazenta, I just generally don't like the design. The need for one of them to be wearing a shield around its head looks very strange. But I did, the one Zekean with the sword in its mouth, well, what is there to say about it? I did like the little part near the end where it had a gust of wind appear, and they both looked up as though they were sensing impending danger. Potentially that's a hint towards, what maybe the new evil team is, like, a variation on Team Rocket. Or maybe it's an evil Pokemon that they have to face, and they have to cooperate with each other. The introduction of the open spaces, the wild areas, allows full access to areas very much like I compare it to The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. It's a full immersive experience. It's better suited to the Nintendo Switch. It provides some more opportunities, and it stops the need for HM use in the game, which we're all particularly happy about. They introduced that first in Sun and Moon, and they've actually carried a concept over to the Galar region. The variety of Pokemon in areas are dependent on the weather and other factors. It makes finding the Pokemon a lot more interesting, as one day you could see, a Rhydon, the next day you could see a Pikachu, for example. Most generations were shown with at least one of each Pokemon showcasing. Easier access from the start, unlimited, which is in contrast to Black 2 and White 2, where you had to defeat the Elite Four before getting access to different regions of Pokemon. The Rotom phone. Once again, Rotom has felt the need to invade your phone. The design is a bit weird, but it's supposed to act as your Pokedex. The reintroduction of your bike means we aren't likely to see ride Pokemon. That's specifically only to the Alola region. The bike has been seen to be to have these inflatables that can be put on when you're going over the water. And we see fishing is maintained within the game. For berry collection, at one stage we see the player shake a tree to gather fruit. This will be your way of harvesting fruit. And I hope, like other regions, the amounts of fruit might be dependent on how long they've been left there and whether the tree has been nourished. The Dynomax mechanic itself, I don't really like the theme of giant Pokemon. I prefer totem Pokemon. I don't understand the link between giant Pokemon and England. If I just don't get it. I mean, I'm a UK citizen, and I've never seen. We don't really have giant creatures here. There isn't really a need for it. It only lasts for 3 turns, and I wonder how much stronger these moves become whilst in this mode. My concerns are over the fact that we're not getting any Mega Evolutions at all. However, I do enjoy the player interactions to capture Dynomax Pokemon. I don't like that some Pokemon can only be captured through these means, though. There are specific points where you can obtain them based on red lights in the sky with small stone formations, indicating where these battles are. Potentially giant Pokeballs being used to capture Pokemon. Actually references to the anime in Hoenn, where we see a giant Claydol was caught with a stone Pokeball, and in Kanto with a giant Gengar and Alakazam that were terrorizing a city or something. The grass-type gym leader Milo looks very goofy. I don't think it could be really taken seriously. He's obviously the first gym leader. We have our second ever female professor, Magnolia. I enjoyed this because it wasn't exaggerated. The use of an older professor in contrast to Juniper in Univers, and I like the introduction of the assistant, Sonia, being the granddaughter, and we don't know how or where she's going to help out. Maybe it might be a little bit like what they did in the Hoenn, where the assistant comes out and randomly helps you at certain points. The champion Leon, I like his appearance and wonder which types of Pokemon he uses. There are no immediate themes that stand out, so he could have a mixed team, but it's confirmed that there's a Charizard behind him, which could indicate he has it as his main Pokemon, and possible in either first battle or after battles, having, maybe a Dynamaxed Charizard. The rival being the younger brother of the champion, I think is a good idea. It creates a motivation for Hop to improve his skills, without having to create too much of a character backstory. Overall, I was a bit underwhelmed by some of the mechanics of the game, mainly the Dynomax. Other than that, I love the open world theme and the Pokemon walking around. This makes it easier to find Pokemon that you want, rather than hunting randomly in the grass. However, I still feel they will give you the option for random appearances to keep within the theme of Pokemon. So, what did you think of that first trailer? Did you enjoy the news? What do you think of the Pokemon that we have so far? And what did you think of the new characters that we're getting? Especially like the new professor. What role do you think she's going to take? Is she going to have a more active one? Or is she going to be very limited in how she helps, like Professor Rowan in Sinnoh? Leave your comments down below, like the video if you enjoyed it, and please remember to subscribe, and I'll see you later.